our letter with shocking news about your royal inheritance has. My dear infant, if you trust in angels, begin this video and watch it absolutely. Angel is speak now, and every phrase is wrapped in divine hearth. This moment isn't always ordinary. The wind is moving in the unseen. The Spirit is moving over the floor of your lifestyles. Heaven has paused to witness your response. Due to the fact something has been dispatched from the throne room, something you were now not alleged to realize yet, however now, the time has come. The scroll has been unsealed. The divine envelope has been opened in the heavens. And, our letter with shocking information about your royal inheritance has arrived. You may not believe who sent it. And you aren't ready for the weight of the fact it consists of. This is not a myth. This isn't metaphor. This is not imagination. It's far prophecy. It smiles destiny arriving at your door without warning. But your soul has felt it coming. You've been walking with a divine itch on your spirit. Stressed. Unsettled. Like you're on the threshold of something large. You couldn't give an explanation for it, but your spirit was already aware of the message that has just been released over your lifestyles. Our letter sporting royal weight. A document that doesn't bring ink but divine fireplace. Words that aren't revealed, but sealed through heavenly decree. And it has your call on it. This letter is not from who you anticipated. You concept your next blessing could come through a person familiar, a person close, a person who applauded you publicly. However, the sender of this letter is a person whose silence you misinterpreted. A person whose presence on your lifestyles regarded to vanish. Someone you haven't heard from in so long that you assumed they forgot you existed. However, heaven by no means forgot. The angels by no means stopped looking. And this character, who once walked away from you, is now the divine courier of the most shocking information you will ever acquire. This is not only a message. This is a religious announcement. You've got royal inheritance in your lineage that became hidden. A line of blessing that was behind schedule, no longer denied. And the postponed changed into a part of heaven's strategic timing. Because you had been now not geared up before. Had this letter arrived ultimate 12 months, you were surrounded with the aid of wrong voices. The counterfeit buddies. The spiritual manipulators. The jealous watchers who smiled for your face but prayed towards your eyes. If you had opened this letter earlier than, it would have been stolen. Misused. Bought. However now you are within the role to acquire it fully and guard it boldly. Your inheritance isn't simply cloth. It smiles ancestral. Prophetic. Sacred. You are carrying the goals of your bloodline. The redemption of everything your ancestors cried for in silence. The restoration of each misplaced opportunity that preceding generations have been robbed of. That is larger than you. It is the success of a royal bloodline that has been crying out from heaven for recovery. And the scroll that simply arrived carries the final seal. It is a divine signature from the most excessive that asserts, it's time. The person who dispatched this religious letter is a person you'll have by no means expected. Their absence become now not abandonment. It become training. God had to put off them from your view so he could prepare them in mystery. They had to walk their very own valley. They needed to be humbled, refined, transformed. And now, after all this time, they have lower back quietly, reverently, with the shocking letter in hand. Our letter that names you now not as a wanderer, not as forgotten, not as cursed, but as inheritor to divine royalty. The angels tremble at your call. The heavens have saved wealth in vaults you by no means knew existed. And now, they may be being opened. You don't apprehend yet how critical you've walked through betrayal, heartbreak, and lengthy seasons of silence. You've got cried into pillows at the same time as pretending to be strong. You've fought silent battles whilst human beings assumed your smile supposed peace. However internal, your spirit becomes screaming for solutions. For justice. For recovery. And now it starts. The scroll is real. The letter is actual. The inheritance is real. And the load is over. Your name is engraved inside the registry of divine heirs. You aren't random. You aren't a mistake. You are the success of a royal promise. The enemy tried to cover that fact from you. It is why you were centered so young. That's why your family went through what it did. It truly is why you have usually felt one of a kind. You weren't being punished. You have been being preserved. Separated. Set upon you. Separated. Set apart. Because best certain souls are known as to carry the burden of heaven's inheritance. And you are one of them? However, why now? Why today? Why has the letter arrived now? The postpone became divine. The waiting turned into strategic. Heaven turned into defensive you from premature publicity. If your inheritance had been revealed before, your circle might have sabotaged it. Your own heart would possibly have doubted it. But now, after all of the storms, your soul is matured. Your discernment is sharp. You may see now what you could not see then. You have learned to distinguish fake support from real loyalty. You've been skilled inside the hearth. And you exceeded the test. The letter includes stunning news. A number of it'll make you cry. Some of it will make you question the entirety. It'll monitor names of folks that tried to thieve your birthright. It's going to reveal secret prayers prayed towards you by using people who sat at your table. It'll unveil the motives why certain relationships ended the manner they did. You will finally recognize the divine rejection that broke your coronary heart changed into genuinely protection from theft. You were not being punished. You were being spared. The inheritance is layered. There's monetary desire. Land rights you understand not anything about. spiritual items which have been dormant in your DNA, awaiting this letter to set off them. You will dream differently. See in another way. Talk in a different way. From the moment the inheritance is revealed, something in your very essence will shift. The manner animals sense earthquakes before they occur. The way stars align before divine trade. Your soul is already aware. That is why you feel stressed. This is why you're exhausted by means of those who drain you. Your royalty is awakening. Do no longer share this revelation with everybody. This letter is sacred. Now not everyone is certified to listen it. You have to protect your scroll. Your birthright isn't always a party trick. It's far a covenant. And if you treat it casually, you will postpone the fullness of what God is releasing. The letter become dispatched in your eyes first. Others will see the results in due time. However, right now, it is among you, the sender and heaven. You'll begin to be aware bizarre confirmations. Vintage pals resurfacing. Desires that monitor historical symbols. Songs playing with phrases that fit this message. These are not coincidences. Those are prophetic codes. Divine clues that the letter is energetic. The inheritance is unfolding. You could sense disoriented at times, beaten with the aid of what's being unlocked. But do now not run. Stand nonetheless. Permit the revelation wash over you. Your crown isn't being located in your head. It's being pulled out of your spirit. You have been born with it. It turned into hidden underneath layers of trauma and survival. But now, it's sparkling once more. Heaven sees it. And soon, earth will too. You'll cry tears of disbelief while the overall fact is found out. You may do not forget times you had been mocked for dreaming huge. You'll don't forget moments humans laughed when you mentioned future. And now, the ones very human beings will ought to watch as God makes a public statement of your royalty. Not to shame them, but to glorify Himself through you. You are the chosen one for your generation. The bloodline breaker. The curse reverser. The miracle baby. The spiritual heir. And this letter is the proof of that calling. Do now not fear the weight of it. Do no longer run from the duty. God will no longer just give you the inheritance. He's going to come up with the power to carry it. The expertise to multiply it. The discernment to shield it. The arrogance to walk in it without apology. This isn't always approximately satisfaction. That is approximately cause. The letter confirms what the enemy continually feared. That you could live lengthy enough to find out who you simply are. In case you'd want to donate or show your appreciation, you can supply a remarkable thank you up to $100. There will be a second soon, a physical sign, that lets you know the scroll has touched down. It could come as a dream. A call. An item falling. A message from someone you by no means predicted to pay attention from again. Do now not forget about it. This is your divine signal. Your cue to step into the subsequent stage. The whole thing adjustments after that moment. And nothing changes after that second. And not anything will ever be the equal again. The angels are looking. Archangel Michael is guarding this inheritance with flame. Gabriel is preparing the bulletins in the spirit. Heaven is rejoicing. Because the one who became neglected, the one who changed into forgotten, the only who almost gave up, has ultimately obtained the scroll. And now, you upward thrust. Our letter has arrived, and it carries news so stunning, so divine, that even the heavens paused when it became written. It changed into sealed now not with ink, but with the breath of God Himself. You were not supposed to see this until now. And now, proper now, it has been delivered into your palms because the timing is now not a mystery. The delay is over. Heaven has spoken. The angels have moved. And the reality is set to explode through the fog of bewilderment and fear. You've been selected to obtain something that no person ever informed you belonged to you. Not because they failed to know, however, due to the fact the enemy labored over time to preserve you ignorant of it. But now, the veil is lifting. And this letter, this revelation, is your spiritual awakening. This, your royalty. No longer metaphorically. No longer in sweet phrases to make you experience better. However, in actual, divine, celestial truth. You are bloodline royalty in my nation. And what became stolen from you, hidden from you, buried out of your view, it is now being restored. That is what this message consists of. That's what this letter is screaming from heaven's gates. You're the rightful heir to something that hell has been scared of you claiming. And it is not simply inheritance in heaven. It's no longer only peace and recovery. No, this is going deeper. This is approximately divine electricity, generational wealth, legacy breakthroughs, religious authority, and nation have an effect on earth. You've felt it, haven't you? That extraordinary sense that you do not completely belong inside the world around you. That ache that your future is distinctive. That whisper in the darkish that says, there may be more. It's because your spirit has always recognized the truth. You had been in no way made to fit in. You have been made to take dominion. You have been by no means supposed to stay in survival mode. You had been born for authority. You were born for overflow. You had been born to hold royal blood no longer for your physical veins, however via your spirit, connected to the throne of God. And this inheritance isn't imaginary. It's miles written. It's miles signed via the hand of God. And it has just been found out. The shocking part. You might not consider who sent it. The only who confirmed your identification, the one who whispered your name earlier than you even took your first breath in this earth. It was the very person who created the celebs. It became God. He has been looking, ready, and protecting your inheritance. He wrapped it in non-secular armor in order that no curse may want to attain it. He sealed it so that no demon may want to open it before its time. And now that point has arrived. Now the seal is broken. Now the truth has been introduced for your coronary heart. And what you do next will determine the whole lot. Do no longer fear. It's the primary issue God wishes you to know. Not anything goes to go incorrect. Nothing will break you. Nothing will take this from you once more. Because heaven has decreed it over your lifestyles, and what God ordains, no man, no devil, no force in hell can undo. You're secure. You're visible. You are wrapped in divine protection. Archangel Michael himself is guarding this message. He is the one who stood together with his sword drawn, blocking off each assault intended to spoil your perception in yourself. He is the only who shielded this message whilst it exceeded via storms of doubt and waves of betrayal. And he's status with you currently, wings stretched wide, maintaining in a voice louder than thunder. It's time. This letter did not arrive in the form you predicted. It wasn't dropped in a golden envelope. It wasn't whispered by way of a human voice. It arrived in spirit. It reached the middle of you. It located you exactly when you needed it. Because the lies you've been fed your entire lifestyles are beginning to get to the bottom of. The lie that you're not worthy. The lie that you ignored your risk. The lie which you've sinned an excessive amount of. The lie which you're too broken. The lie that the good stuff are for other people. All lies. Your inheritance changed into by no means primarily based in your performance. It become based totally on your identification. And your identity has always been royal. God isn't always finished with you. In fact, He is simply getting started out. He failed to deliver you this far to go away you now. He did not permit the crushing to lead to depression. He allowed it in order that the oil of anointing should pour out of your existence in abundance. He failed to permit the betrayal define you. He permitted redirect you to the reality. Because if people had never walked away, you might by no means have turned your full face toward Him. And now which you've reached this divine moment, now that the truth is in front of you, now that the spiritual letter has been unsealed, you should do one thing: trust. Consider Him. That is all He's asking for. You don't need to parent it all out. You do not want to recognize every step ahead. You just need to accept as true with. God isn't a person that He ought to lie. Whilst He says you're selected, you're. When He says you're protected, you're. Whilst He says this inheritance is yours, nothing can take it. Not even your beyond. Not even the components of you that also doubt. He's already accounted for that. He is already long gone ahead. What's unfolding isn't random, it's revelation. The dreams you buried are coming alive. The items you forgot you had are awakening. The individuals who laughed at you are about to appear who you certainly are. Because what God is doing next will silence each critic and vindicate each tear. You concept it become over, however it is simply starting. you notion it changed into too overdue. However, heaven says we stored the exceptional for closing. You thought the silence supposed abandonment. However, the silence changed into coaching. Within the quiet, he was writing your name into chapters no one thought you would ever input. He turned into aligning favor, unlocking doorways, preparing divine connections. And now it is being launched. Inside the spirit, in the herbal, within the realm of relationships, finances, calling, recovery, this inheritance touches the whole thing. It's going to spill over. It will touch those you like. It'll heal bloodlines. It'll spoil generational curses. It'll realign your own family's destiny. All because you dared to consider while it made no experience. This is the instant you have been born for. That is the destiny others attempted to deny you. That is the fact your soul has longed to. Don't forget. And now, take it. This is not charity. This isn't always success. This isn't random. That is your rightful component. Your crown is being restored. Your gown is being tailored in heaven's courts. Your seat on the desk is no longer empty. Your seat on the table is now not empty. You're being known as by call. Now not a everyday name. A selected, direct, private call from the only who in no way forgot you. You are not an orphan. You aren't forgotten. You aren't rejected. You aren't left in the back of. You are not invisible. You are the royal toddler of a king. The throne has by no means stopped awaiting you. And now that you are right here, now that the letter has been delivered, now that the truth has determined you, you need to stroll into it with complete consider. Do not let fear scouse borrow this from you once more. Don't permit shame persuade you you are not equipped. Don't let the enemy whisper that it is too good to be authentic. God would not deal in small miracles. He is in the enterprise of divine reversals. And that is your reversal. The entirety they said you'll by no means have. You are approximately to walk in. The entirety they tried to thieve, you're approximately to reclaim. The whole thing they broke, you are about to rebuild. And while you do, the sector won't be capable of explain it. As it won't make feel in the natural. It is supernatural. It's heavenly. It's divine. You are not who they said you were. You are not what they attempted to lessen you to. You are not stuck. You are not cursed. You are not lost. You are growing. You are on foot. You're crowned. And nothing will forestall what God has begun. Say yes. That's all. Say sure for your spirit. Say sure even with shaking arms. Say yes with a coronary heart that still recollects sake. Say yes to the inheritance. Say yes to the calling. Say sure to the impossible. Say yes to being visible, selected, held. God isn't always playing with your existence. He's redeeming it. He's rewriting it. He is reclaiming what hell notion it had the proper to hold. And he's doing it for you. Because you count number. Because your existence is a masterpiece. Due to the fact your soul turned into in no way on the market. This letter will not disappear. It's going to live for your spirit forever. It'll wake up something each time you examine it once more. Because the fact is eternal. And the reality is this. You're the heir. You're the miracle. You're the one heaven is rejoicing over. You're the one who overcame while no one notion you would. You're the one God has been speaking over, combating for, calling returned home. Rest assured, nothing will cross wrong with you. You're secure. You're held. You are protected. You're on foot into something that become constantly intended for you. Trust God. Pray to Him. Cry if you want to. Snort as the weight lifts. Dance while the chains destroy. Talk when the spirit actions. Relaxation in the fingers of the only who wrote this letter for you. You've got to study it now. You've seen it. And once you know the truth, you could by no means move lower back. The inheritance is yours. The time is now. The dominion